influence. Who's your favorite influencer on social media? Have you been persuaded by their messages? So, what is this thing called persuasion? Well, persuasion is a symbolic process where a communicator, like an influencer, tries to convince people to change their attitudes or their opinions, their buying behavior through a transmission of messages in an atmosphere of free choice. So, I'm not forcing you, but I'm kind of influencing you. I don't want you to be defensive that I'm kind of making the choice for you. You have to go to this restaurant. You have to buy this car. You have a autonomy. You have free choice. If you feel that that is being compromised, we have this thing called reactance where you would be defensive about it. But if I can kind of persuade you between the lines with different techniques, then I can kind of win you over as if it was your choice anyway. So we might be influenced by someone that we like or we think likes us. It could be someone who does you a favor and there's reciprocation involved. You want to kind of pay back that favor. It could be a sense of commitment. I made this choice and I want to kind of stay with it. I think it was the right choice. So you can kind of rationalize or defend the choice that you made. Social proof to determine the correct behavior. What we want to do is make sure that it's acceptable by other people. Other people are buying this car. Other people are going to this restaurant. It looks crowded, so it must be good. Opinions from authoritative figures. So 9 out of 10 dentists say use this toothpaste. Or scarcity. Only 10 left. Better order soon. All these things can kind of influence your choice. So just like any type of communication, you want to plan it first. Think strategically. Think about your target. Think what the goal of this communication is, what you really want them to do. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say, for instance, you as a student wanted a letter of recommendation from your professor. What you could do is describe the problem. Gee, I'm really trying to get into the upper division program or transfer to another college. You can also kind of give a little bit of praise or compliments. I've been in your class 3 times and I really enjoyed it. So all these things can kind of give you that kind of credibility or inroad to presenting your case. Now, thinking about the body of the request, maybe I could look at it from the other side. As the professor, I could present a logical and concise argument. Let me introduce you to one of my favorite students, or one of my best students, someone who I could support with some metrics, has a 3.5 GPA, has been in my class 3 times. I've known them for 2 years. They've always gotten an A in class. They've always done their work on time. So the idea of giving specific details and facts to give you credibility and back up your request. Focus on the reader's attention. So again, I can influence and say something like, I think this person is a really great candidate to represent your program or represent your university. And I know that from my experience. So all of these things can kind of help me to then, in the overall body copy, kind of influence the reader. So the close of this is also very critical. This is where you seal the deal. And you want to have a very clear and concise call to action. So please call me tomorrow where we can discuss this. Make it as easy as possible. Here's my phone number. And then end with a courteous closing. Thank you very much for your assistance. Sincerely, Professor Cokkinos. The other thing that a lot of companies might do in business is offer a gift, okay, a discount for the first 10 people who apply, promise some kind of incentive, limit the offer, buy by tonight, or else it's going to, a lot of times you'll see that, the sale ends Sunday, something like that. So there's some kind of deadline there. Or guaranteeing satisfaction. So unconditional money back guarantee. All of these things can help persuade someone to take your point of view. So a lot of times products are not what you thought they were going to be. They're broken. They don't really live up to their claims. I know you remember my blender story, and I actually did very well. What I did is I wrote to Oster and I described the problem very carefully about what was wrong with the blender. I included documentation like purchase dates and invoices. And I also expressed a clear expectation. I didn't want a refund. I just wanted a blender that worked properly. And they wound up sending me a new machine. Now, here's a challenge. Use your writing skills to cut through the clutter of email marketing and direct mail so customers will take your ad seriously and not consider it spam. So I think to be effective in this area, you have to use a lot of the set rules of communication again. Know your target audience, know their needs, analyze the market, really know your mailing list. You don't want to send out stuff that's not going to reach, receptive ears in an audience. So the idea of having people subscribe, having people opt in, knowing that, they're part of your tribe. Know your product really well, know how you can connect it to your target audience's needs, and then have a call to action again or a motivation to have them react. Again, that special offer that, buy by the end of the weekend to save 10%. That is really what is going to get them to be persuaded. You could use this classic AIDA format, which is gain attention, build interest, elicit desire and reduce resistance, and then motivate action. It's a tried and true formula in advertising and marketing. So oftentimes you can use the opening to really sell them, offer something valuable, tell them to stay tuned for the offer at the end, promise the benefit, give them the facts, and then take it to the next level in the body copy. So in the body, you may want to use different types of appeals. So for instance, let's say we're looking at a car. You could have a rational appeal. This car is a car that gets really great gas mileage, or it's a hybrid or an electrical vehicle that will, sustain the environment. Or you might want to use an emotional appeal. This car will do 0 to 60 in 15 seconds, or it will impress your girlfriend or something like that. So, or you could have a dual appeal where you actually hit them with both the rational and the emotional appeal. You might want to talk about the features. Again, things like 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, or 30 miles per gallon, and the benefits. So this really goes over very well when you display the benefits in a testimonial. So you have a user who actually gives you that credibility, someone who is a verified user who gives that review. So there are some advantages and disadvantages to each vehicle too. The idea of email marketing being something that is very immediate. You can attract new customers, keep existing customers, encourage future sales, uh, very inexpensive, so you can have an email sent to a large database, and you can do it in half the time that it would take to actually distribute a direct message. The thing about a direct piece of direct mail, though, is that people like the feel of it. It may seem more important when it actually comes into your mailbox. A lot of people might throw it away without even opening it, but the idea is that that tactile sense will get you twice as many responses. So whether it's direct mail or email, a lot of the basic rules apply. So when you're sending someone an email, you remember you want to make sure you have a clean subject line that really gets to the point and lets them know what you're trying to say to them. Also, you want to front load so that everything is on the first screen. You don't want people having to scroll for important information. Make sure the message is short, focused, reader centered. You can have testimonials there, credibility, facts to support your message. And it's always a good idea to provide a means to opt out in case people are just uninterested. You don't want to keep annoying them with email blasts.